Can't do nothing but fear. This feeling grips my soul. This feeling takes its toll, even though it kicks my ass. I know this too shall pass, this too shall pass.
Welcome in, everyone. How are we doing tonight? I hope we're doing well. I hope we're having fun. I know it hasn't been that long since I was just on, but I'm trying to keep to as close to my normal time as possible. And since we ended up quitting a little early, made it easy. Tonight we're just talking, just goofing. Hope you're all having a fun time. You know, like I said, just trying to keep the schedule going. Tonight, it's about a topic that I've teased a few times. Well, I kind of talked about it a little bit. But I'll just start from the get-go. For centuries. Let me try again. That was bad. For centuries, a shadow has walked the edges of civilization. A mystery cloaked in fur and fog. Bigfoot. Every sighting, every blurred photograph, every cast footprint points to a single monolithic answer. An undiscovered bipedal ape. A primate. Heavy. Strong. But what if we've been asking the wrong question? What if the creature isn't an ape at all? Today, we're going to dive into the speculative deep end. What if Bigfoot is a massive terrestrial octopus? First, to understand it, we have to understand what a cephalopod is. Octopus, squid, cuttlefish. They're the undisputed geniuses of invertebrate world. They can taste with their skin, they possess an intelligence so alien, and most importantly, they are masters of disguise. The skin is covered in sacs called chromatophores. They can perfectly mimic a rock, patch of sand, or maybe a hairy, brownish, gray blur in the woods. The most immediate problem with our theory is gravity. Consider the Bigfoot footprint itself, described as flat, wide, and strangely flexible. If our Squatchtopus has adapted to land, its massive, powerful mantle would be supported by a specialized cluster of powerful hydrostatic limbs. Not 2 feet, but a dense, fused cluster of tentacles forming two powerful weight-bearing legs. A quick shift of static pressure could power a terrifyingly efficient, slithering, lurching stride. This would also explain the silence often reported. No heavy footfall, just a smooth, massive whoosh as it passes. Now address the biggest contradiction, hair. Well, what if the hair isn't keratin like our hair is made out of, but a visual illusion? The cephalopod's skin is absolutely amazing. They can raise dermal, I'm gonna screw up this word, papillae to mimic a dense matted coat of fur. Imagine a massive creature covered in thousands of these tiny shimmering projections. It explains the infamous blurriness of almost every alleged photograph. When threatened or stressed, cephalopods' camouflage can trigger. And it's not just a camera artifact, it's literally the organism's skin. It's what it does. So, you know, the flash, it blurs it. Marine cephalopods use specific colors and patterns to communicate mood. This actually opens a door to a whole nother Bigfoot variant, the skunk ape, which is often reported as white or albino. Been watching too many British guys. What if it's not just a genetic mutation, but a display? When frightened, the creature could flood its skin with maximized white coloration to signify distress. In dark, the creature's bioluminescent capabilities could also explain brief, strange flashes of light, given the brief impression of a large glowing eyes before it melts into the dark. If our creature is truly a land cephalopod, it perceives the world in an utterly alien way. The octopus's eye is amazing, but despite its perfect structure, they're almost certainly colorblind. They would see the world in shades of gray. They use a trick. They perceive the world through polarized light. The color they display isn't for them, it's a sophisticated method of signaling for everyone else. It would be basically for its behavior and making it more reliant on other senses. When people report that Bigfoot seems to be aware of them, well, the octopus has an efficient central brain, but 2/3 of its neurons, or, often people call it, it has brains in its arms. It literally, most of its gray matter, or 2/3 of its gray matter, is in its arms. And that means each tentacle, or these limbs that it may have evolved, can act independently. They can be tasting, touching, and exploring the environment even while the central brain is focused elsewhere. This decentralized awareness would give the squatchtopus an unparalleled ability to navigate a dense forest and avoid any traps. The exploration isn't just touch, it's taste. Their suckers contain chromatophore receptors, meaning they can receive taste and effectively taste their environment just by touching it. They wouldn't need to sniff the air. It could taste your presence on the ground you walked on. It turns every square foot of its territory into a rich chemical information stream. The sounds. This is also something that Bigfoot is known of. A land-adapted version, perhaps venting highly compressed air or a mucus spray, could be the source of the alleged wood knocks or the frightening deep chest rumbles. It's literally venting its own noise. The biological hurdle. How does a soft-bellied or bodied, entirely marine invertebrate survive on land? Well, the vast majority of consistent, credible Bigfoot sightings come from the temperate rainforests of Pacific Northwest, an environment defined by perpetual moisture. To prevent desiccation, it would need a highly specialized, rubbery, mucus-secreting skin, a constant protective barrier against the air. This constant need for moisture would also restrict its movements to riverbanks, marshes, and deep bogs. This also explains the alleged foul odor, i.e. skunk ape, earthy odor, the rich, pungent ammonia mucus mix needed to keep its huge soft body from drying out. For a parallel, F-O-U-L, foul smell. Come on, we're talking about, Bigfoot as being a land cephalopod. We can also look at a creature that has already made an improbable jump, the arboreal shrimp. These tiny specialized shrimp live high in the canopy of the giant redwood trees in the Pacific Northwest. The canopy acts as a sky island ecosystem. The fog and high humidity create temporary pools of water in the moss mats. And the shrimp are completely marine dependent, yet they live hundreds of feet above the ground. So if a small invertebrate can evolve to survive in the high humidity, wet feet above the ground, the microclimate, that's why that read so weird. If a small invertebrate can evolve to survive in the high humidity, wet microclimate of a redwood canopy, it establishes at least a precedent. It suggests that the dense, wet, foggy Pacific Northwest environment provides a potential bridge for a soft-bodied marine to transition to land. The second, even greater hurdle is respiration. They breathe through gills. To survive on land, our creature would need to evolve an organ capable of high-efficient lung, a kind of gill-lung hybrid. The organ would have to be housed deep within the creature's protective mantle and be constantly wet. It might be a pressurized system using the muscular contractions of the body to force air across the respiratory surface. The other thing is that it could literally probably just hold water, and with the side vents that it does have, it could probably just kind of flush them. It is a hole in the theory, but it is something. You know, there is ways. And the slow rhythmic contraction and expansion of its chest is a form of breathing. If a hiker caught a brief glimpse of his movement in the shadows, it might appear to be a massive heaving chest. The need for high pressure moist air exchange also gives the creature's primary weakness, dryness. A sudden drought or a forest fire is catastrophic. This would force it to seek out deep, inaccessible water sources, maybe subterranean. The deep ocean creature is forever tethered to its original element, even on land. For now. Now, everyone almost agrees that the smell is a big deal. It's described as overwhelming, rotting garbage, sulfur, ammonia. A mammal processes waste through digestion. However, a squatchtopus is essentially an ocean creature trapped on land. Cephalopods excrete waste directly into the water, primarily as ammonia. On land, the ammonia, combined with its vital protective layer of mucus, would create an intensely pungent chemical and earthy vapor cloud around the creature. The smell isn't a byproduct of digestion, it's the smell of its survival. Now, the footprint. Why are they so consistently large, flat, and show a flexibility that confounds normal human anatomy? Well, the mantle skirt. When it is walking, the hydrostatic pressure required to hold its form might be maintained by a strong skirt-like ring of tissue that hangs down to the ground. When the creature lifts one foot, the base of the mantle skirt presses slightly into the soil to maintain balance, leaving the impression Yes, exactly. The unique mid-tarsal break would simply be the movement of transition of the pump, leaving a perfect geological record, or the hydrostatic pump leaves a perfect geological record. Hey, Ninetails, how's it going? Now, the extreme elusiveness. The creature is massive. It must eat constantly. Well, that's where the primate comparison falls apart. A Bigfoot, or a massive warm-blooded primate, has to forage for most of its waking hours. A cephalopod, however, is a cold-blooded invertebrate. Its metabolism is incredibly efficient and extremely slow compared to a mammal. It could wait hidden for days between major meals. The low metabolic rate explains the near-perfect ability to evade capture. Many serious researchers report a feeling of dread or a sense of being pushed out of an area. Basically, Squatchtopus might be capable of generating low-frequency vibrations or infrasound, which is below the normal threshold of human hearing, but the vibrations can be felt, which would generate an intense psychological effect in mammals. The feeling of being pushed away or having sudden overwhelming sense of panic or dread can be a defense mechanism, highly advanced form of biosonic territorial marking. So when we started the absurd experiment, Bigfoot being a land cephalopod and knocking sounds, but through the lens of this speculative evolution, the idea begins to answer some of the deepest riddles of cryptozoology. We've seen how the land-adapted Squatchtopus solves the mystery of blurriness, the intense foul stench, the silent stride. It's just a master of disguise. It's a creature so foreign to our biology that we simply misidentify every single piece of evidence. We were looking for an undiscovered ape, but perhaps we should have been looking for an undiscovered phylum. The next time you step into the deep woods, remember the incredible possibilities nature holds. Is the shadow you see an ape, or is it a creature descended from the most brilliant minds the oceans have ever produced? A camouflage expert so perfect, it's been hiding in plain sight for centuries. Maybe Bigfoot isn't a missing link in the story of humanity, but a creature that dared to write its own evolutionary chapter on the shores of our world. Oh, nice. New curtains. So, the idea is, well, could the Northwest Sasquatch be an ultimate terrestrial cephalopod? You know, I mean, the idea, when I first started researching this, you know, it was meant to be for April Fool's Day. It was supposed to be a joke, you know, that Bigfoot's a land cephalopod. But the more I looked into what a land cephalopod would be, it almost matches everything about Bigfoot. Almost. You know, because I mean, it wouldn't leave bones when it died. It doesn't have any. You know, other than the beak, which it might not work the same way. You know, because it's a land one. I mean, it's keratin. It might be more built, or its beak might not be built more out of the keratin or the super hard substance that we're used to, because of the minerals it would be accessing. Would be more what we would think, and it could just degrade to gravel. For all, you know, for all we know. Now, am I saying that that's what Bigfoot is? No. Not at all. What I am saying is that it's fun to ask the questions in such a way that, you know, people first look at you crazy, but then when you look at it closer, it's like, wait, that's not as crazy as I initially thought. You know, and that's what the lesson is here, is don't always take what you were fed. Just because you can explain something doesn't mean it is an explanation, or that is the only explanation. And, you know, the other side of that is just because you can't explain it doesn't mean there isn't an explanation. You know, people often love to talk about, you know, UFOs and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, well, there's no way, you know, a interstellar species could bridge that gap. Well, the reality is that they don't have to. They could be dimensional. I mean, that's really common. But there's also a phenomenon called breakaway civilizations, where a small group of, you know, hunter-gatherers, blah, 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 way back in the day. And if they're small enough, they could be missing from the archaeological record. I mean, think about it. All it takes is one little leap. And over the last 200, not even 200 years, one little leap in technology took us from, in the last 100 years, in 100 years, we went from not having computers in the early 1900s, not even up to the 1920s. We didn't really have computers. I mean, yes, there were difference engines and like the Babbage calculator and stuff like that. But we went from that all the way up here to where we are now with worldwide communications, satellites in the air. I mean, just flight in general. We went from not being able to fly. 1911, I think, was the first flight. And there were people that could have been born in, say, 1910, never having seen a plane, and would have been 59 years old when we landed on the moon. Like, think about that. That should be like a real big idea, you know, when all these scientists sit here and say like, oh, you know, we know that there's no civilization that's ever been as high technologically advanced as we are. Because we would have seen them. Well, if they were small enough and had even a small amount, you could have a breakaway civilization. And geologically speaking, 100 to 200 years is a blink of the eye. I mean, even in anthropology, you know, I mean, people are often, you know, you have to remind people that Cleopatra was actually closer to Star Wars than the building of the pyramids. You know, the time difference is so huge that a breakaway civilization in a place we haven't really explored. But also think about it again. How long would our current level of civilization last? What would be left? Primitive looking houses and stuff like that, because they're made of more primitive materials. But concrete and steel, unless you maintain it, it doesn't last worth nothing. Well, it can last a long time if it is well maintained. You know, sealing cracks in the concrete and stuff like that so that the steel underneath doesn't get rusted out is main. It's a big deal. Okay. And with a breakaway civilization, they could have taken off to the stars. Yeah. You know, and that's what I'm trying to say is that we know, even when we talk about evolutionarily speaking, there was what known as the Cambrian explosion. We don't even know what caused the Cambrian explosion. It was just all of a sudden life exploded in all sorts of mutations and created all sorts of new life. We don't know why. It just decided to. And that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand, is just how easy it would be for us to miss or dismiss, you know, because, oh, you know, it was just a small little thing. And I often wonder how much our humanity's hubris stops us from looking at our history, our geology, our world in the right way, because, well, nobody could be as good as we are right now. And no, I don't think aliens built the pyramids. But what I think we should be focusing on is how they built those pyramids so fast without having major machinery. You know, so me personally, I think something in the story is wrong. I think they weren't built the way we think they were. You know, sure, ramps, you know, and all of that, but I really want to see somebody do that. Because remember, by the time those stones got up to the pyramids to be put in place, they had to be carved and carved in such a way as to account for the material that would be missing if they use sand and water, like some people describe, because that would literally shear off a portion of it. But yet those stones fit so perfectly. You know, that's really what I think a lot of these guys are missing. It isn't so much that we don't think our ancestors could have done it, but how did they do it so perfectly? Because we would be capable of it, but we would never put the money towards it. I mean, if we would, why don't we just restore the pyramids to their original glory? Why do we have to keep them in their rundown state? What's up, Infinite? We're just talking about history and asking weird questions. I did a quick read through of my Bigfoot's a land cephlapod, or Squatchtopus, or Octo-Foot. to preface this as being a a stream about asking questions in different ways than what people want us to ask. No, I have not yet. I didn't give myself time in between then and now. I was, did a little bit of a wrap up with Ghost, Raven, and Patience after the stream, grabbed a snack, sat down, got all this ready. Oh, wrong one. I thought you were talking about the one you sent me. But all I'm trying to say is that we get so stuck in one way of thinking that we don't think it could be any other way. And my thing is that quit telling yourself something's impossible. Ask yourself what it would take for it to be done. If it's possible, what would it take? And how many different ways could it take? Like let's go back to building the pyramids. There is so many different ways that could be built. The pyramids could be built in one manner or another. I'm not sure about the time frame though, because what was it supposed to take, like 20 years? It's always bothered me that the speed and precision, because supposedly they didn't even have trees to use as rollers, even though that was used to be the old explanation. And then with the whole idea of, the thing is, the men from the sea, they mentioned in Greek mythos, are just Egyptian pirates raiding cities, weakened by the Trojan War. Based on the timelines, it would make sense. Like, I totally agree. The sea people. The only problem is that the Egyptians have never been described as sea people. Their ships would have been made of rushes. Which we've proven is entirely possible. We've proven that they can handle the stones for, but there is no proof that they ever had the opportunity to do it. That's the problem is especially when you're talking about the Greek mythos, they knew of the Egyptians. You got to realize Carthage was on the other side of Egypt. Carthage was closer to the Straits of Gibraltar, or the Pillars of Hercules as they were known then. Which, okay, they already knew who they were. So wouldn't they have recognized, even if they were just Egyptian pirates? For all we know, the sea people that they talk about were, what was referred to at the time as High Brazil. Now, High Brazil was basically around UK. And these guys would come down in between the Pillars of Hercules, do their raiding and come back. Much like the Vikings would do years and years later. But I'm not saying that's real. I'm saying I don't really know. And, that's the point I'm trying to make. Because we often forget there was no way for people to come from what is now the Suez Canal. Because it never existed. So that side of Egypt was landlocked. I mean, I think there was a river there, but don't quote me on it. But it was such a dry trickle that it couldn't really move. But how are you doing tonight, Infinite? You had to leave really abruptly, and I wasn't sure if I had pissed you off or if something else had come up, or not that I really think I pissed you off. I think you would have said something. I don't know. Just making sure you're okay. You said it wasn't such a good day yesterday. Yeah, I kind of figured. Because if I ever do, it's never intentional. But, you know, like I said, you know, the whole point is just to look at the world through different eyes. Quit accepting what they tell you, you know, at face value. You know, look at conspiracy theories. Oh, I'm sorry. We were mostly just goofy. Patience really carried us. Right? Like somebody on Raven's stream was trying to, you guys want, you know, like, you guys need to get a guide or something to show you guys the way. It's like, no, the fun is just sitting there goofing and learning it ourselves. We're not doing this to win. Some people forget that they weren't being too bad about it. Don't get me wrong. They weren't like, you know, they were just making a comment of like, oh, well, you know, if you guys are having such a hard time, you know, get somebody that's experienced. It's like, but that's not the point of why we do this. I mean, look at how we got through RV there yet. Like, oh my God. You know, that was a lot of trial and error. And it was so much fun. You know, people are too busy trying to get through a game and they forget to just enjoy it. Yeah, I'm guessing they were new, yeah. I just think that people just forget it's not about winning the game. You're supposed to experience the game. I mean, that's why Bethesda is so screwed up now. I mean, look at the early Fallouts and Skyrim and all of that. It wasn't about getting through the game. It was about experiencing the world they crafted. You know, in fact, most of the time their stories were kind of crap. Or weak. Or you could get through it way too quickly. So you'd go on side quests because you would rather, you know, experience the game. You know, and too many games out here now are just, you know, oh, get through it and win. Sadly, I mean, what people are calling friend slop games like Peak, like Repo, are better, Mecha Chameleon, because they don't really have a story. You're just there to experience the game. I mean, sure, there might be little bits of lore here and there. Like with Repo, it's you're trying to make the taxman happy. It's obviously a post-apocalyptic world, you know, trying to gather up relics from the old world. Why? Who knows? Who cares? You know, Peak, you got into an air crash, or an airplane crashed, and now you have to try and make it to the highest point of the island so that people can see you when you know, let off your signal flare. Which in reality, you should stick close to the crash site for higher chances of survival. You need to stay with the crash. You know, and it's just, I think a lot of people forget that games were meant to be played, not beat. You know, and if people want to be that way, that's fine. There's plenty of games out there for them like that. But I enjoy games that you can experience. I mean, one of the reasons why I stopped playing Rewind 99 was just because it was going so fast. The game was just too fast. Like, I didn't mind it, but there was so much going on. The cat says hi. I always pronounce her name wrong. Sorcha, I think is how I was supposed to pronounce it. But I also think that that's the problem with a lot of people with, well, the reverse problem is what's happening with movies. He went to go check on his laundry, so I'm pretty sure that's just the cat. Which is why it's so funny. See, now we can't just have discrete movies. We're not making movies to be a single movie. These movies have to have, you know, umpteen billion sequels. They have to be part of a connected universe and all of this. And it's just like, you can just do a regular movie. You know, and I think that's the only valid criticism I have heard from anybody that watched Brand New Day. They loved the movie, but the fact that they made Jean Grey the villain. Well, and they forgot that most of the movies that ended up becoming franchises, I mean, Rambo, First Blood, literally ended with John Rambo dying. The movie that started the Rambo series, Rambo died at the end of, and everybody ignores it from First Blood Part 2 on. They just ignored that he died. Well, obviously not. There were sequels. But yeah, at the end of First Blood Part 1, he dies. Or did the movie get re-edited to make it look ambiguous? Either way, in the original book, John Rambo died. Yeah. It's been a long time since I watched the original Rambo movie, Rambo First Blood. But yeah. I mean, and that's the crazy thing is that a lot of these movies weren't intended to be a bunch of sequels. I mean, Rocky was never supposed to have a whole bunch of sequels. You can tell that by how they have to cobble the world together. You know, and that's been my largest critique of the Marvel Universe is that none of the every movie is an advertisement for the next. Oh my God, Uncle Buck. Who do I think could do what John Candy did with Uncle Buck? And Infinite, if you haven't seen Uncle Buck, it's actually a pretty darn good John Candy movie. Who would I have? Hell, I don't even know who's valid anymore. I honestly don't know. I don't know who I would cast that's funny enough to be Uncle Buck. That has the same comedic timing as John Candy. That would be... I don't know. That actually is a conundrum for me because I also haven't watched a whole lot of movies recently, so I don't even know what actors are even active.
A new challenge here.
I honestly want to see, you know, probably an unknown that's got a good stand-up routine, like somebody that actually does good stand-up that I'm unaware of. You know, I think that's the only way to do it, is do an unknown. But I also think it would just be too early. It'd be like trying to recast The Princess Bride. Who the hell would you have do that? I know who I'd have be Prince Humperdinck. Mark Ruffalo. A guy I love to hate. I don't know what it is about that guy, but he rubs me the wrong way every acting role he's ever taken. And I know that gets on simply that I don't like him, but I just don't. Bill Burr? Maybe. That's possible. But I'm not sure how many modern comedians could really pull it off. Because most of them can't stand to make fun of themselves. You know, that's the biggest problem with comedy now, is that most of these people, any comedian, they have to take themselves seriously. So seriously that you have to take them seriously too. Like it. Honestly, if I was really gonna flip it on its head, like if I was gonna do Uncle Buck and basically get everybody's preconceptions of what it would be out of the way, of the, like, look, we know we can't be John Candy. I would get, oh, I forgot his name. The actor that plays Hopper. From Stranger Things and Violent Night. I can't remember his name. But basically let him be the Red Guardian, but more so as Uncle Buck. I think he's the only one that'd actually pull it off in a certain way. And I'm pissed because I can't remember his name. Hell, I'd even, yes, David Harbour. Have David Harbour play Uncle Buck. And Fly be played by, make it Anti-Buck. Oh my God. And yes, welcome in, XO. Yes. But yeah, David Harbour. Right. Well, I don't know how it is where you are, but it's too hot here for people to be outside. I think tomorrow's supposed to be 109. No, sorry, 104. But yeah, like have David Harbour be Uncle Buck. Because I think he could actually do it. Well, I don't know what to tell you about that, man. Yeah. David Harbour as Uncle Buck. The creepy boyfriend be the actor that played Jonathan. You'd have to have a really good unknown child actor to play Macaulay Culkin's part. And the other main role would be Uncle Buck's girlfriend. Off and on girlfriend. Yes, Shanice. She would be hard to cast because it'd have to be good. The perfect actress? Jennifer Carpenter? I don't even know who that is. Who the hell is that? Oh! Dexter's sister, yeah. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Holy shit, she's the same age as me. Yeah, I really think she could play a good Shanice. What do you mean too old? Are you saying I'm old? What, David Harbour's older than I am? Yeah, he's 51. But yeah, I think that's actually a good role for her too. Right? I'm trying to think of who else. Like, there's not really any other major roles that need to be cast in Uncle Buck. The rest are just kind of there. Oh no, we have to have the freaky neighbor. Yeah, was that her name, Tia? Oh, the daughter. You're right. The daughter needs to be cast, but also the horny neighbor. But you got to admit, the daughter is just not much of. It doesn't take much to be that, to be that character. Like, playing a angsty teenager isn't really that hard. Most people remember their angsty teenager days. You know, no matter how correct Tia was in certain instances. I think it'd be funny if we could get Jennifer Aniston to come back and play the horny neighbor. So Sarah Gilbert, as a nod to the Roseanne cast, because it was Laurie Metcalf. I was gonna say, wasn't it the aunt? I had to check. There was Marcy. Who was Maisie? Oh, sorry, his name was Bug. Okay, that would be kind of funny. But you'd have to have good comedic timing. Does Sarah Gilbert have it? Oh, okay. Jeez, they were the little ones? How long ago was that movie made? Because the little ones look older than me. They see the scrap and salvage, they see the heavy freight, but I see the heart that held us when the tide was full of. Well, yeah, I guess so, because Macaulay Culkin is about the same age, if not a little older than me. Isn't he? Or is he a little younger? I can't remember exactly. He's a little younger than me. Yeah, okay, both of them are a little younger than me. Okay, but not by much. 2 and 3 years. Yeah, there's not really, I mean, the rest can be easily cast because they're just supporting. But yeah, you do need a decent actress for Tia. I don't know. It's fun to think about. I will be right back. I hit the wrong button. I'll be right back.
stretch where the highway ends, the extreme north coast where the shoreline bends. Washington cliffs standing rugged and steep, where the cold ocean winds never go to sleep. The mist hits the glass and the heaters on high. Underneath the dramatic dark Pacific sky, cruising the lone wide, pushing through the gear. Ocean on the left side, washing out the year. Mountains on the right side, rising to the sky. Watch the whole horizon flashing quickly by. From the sun-baked dust to the evergreen, finest road trip that you've ever seen. Cold winds blowing off the Cape tonight. End of the highway, end of the light. Mates fading out in the northern chill, but the rhythm of the road is driving us still. Not this again, ain't going through all this again. I am not gonna be blue, not this again. No pity, nope, nope. Woke today in a foul mood, couldn't help but think, wow, this is rude. My energy was in the sink, gotta get back at it, the blues can't have it. Not my time or my drive, gotta stay in line, gotta thrive, push it back, kicking the blues while I am down, go on the attack, kick 'em back out of town. Oh no, not this again, ain't going through all this again. I am not gonna be blue, not this again. No pity, nope, nope. Why do they gotta be that way? Why does it have to be today? I have work I need to do, they just hit me out of the blue. Get mad, go on the attack, fight those blues all the way back. Then you smile, work on a grin, it can help by a mile, gives life a new spin. Fake it until you feel it, make it work for you. No, no, not this again, ain't going through all this again. I am not gonna be blue, not this again. No pity, nope, nope.
And I'm back. I probably should switch it back to talk time. You munching, XO? Or are you wishing you had munch?
If that don't work, get mad at it.
I don't know. What else you guys want to talk about tonight?
Then look in the mirror, see what you see, makes me laugh at what I see. If not, look a little nearer.
You know, anything else on your minds? I mean, we started talking about movies and recasting.
Maybe there is something you don't see. Find a
What other movie would you guys love to see recast
raise your mood by half.
that
Oh no, not this again. Ain't going through all this again. I am not gonna be blue. Not
I'm trying to think of any good old movies that need to be redone. Or that not even necessarily need to be redone, but, you know, it'd be nice to see it back on the big screen, so to speak. You mean Scrooged?
if that don't work, get mad at it. Mad enough to spit. Then look in the mirror, see what you see, makes me laugh at what I see. If not, look a little.
Looking for ideas to lift their mood? All right. Let's see here.
Maybe there is something
Do they play cards?
you don't see. Find a reason to laugh, some reason to be
You know, is there a comedy movie that they both agree on? You know, have they ever seen Paint Your Wagon?
Walking through the change when seasons go from summer's yellow to the gold of the fall. Yet blue is the color that makes it.
You know, don't do board games because generally that gets. But my grandparents used to, you know, love playing cards. But it really depends on what kind of people they are, how to lift their mood. Ah, okay.
Season change and renew. This was why the winds blew, clear in the air.
Ooh, that'd be fun to redo.
Blue is the color behind the clouds. The color behind.
I think it'd be fun to redo an old Richard Pryor called The Toy for a more modern audience. And I think it's oddly appropriate at this time. Or Brewster's Millions. Ooh.
That time of togetherness when family friends are with us.
Okay. Well, there was a movie, Scrooged, where he fought his old boss. You know, the only other thing that I can think of off the top of my head would be sword fighting a skeleton in the street. Bro, I have no idea, and I thought I knew most of Bill Murray's movies.
Music fills the air, laughter without a care.
Yeah, no, I mean,
What more is there than fun, food, and friends? If there was more, could we bear? This is how our time spends, work and life in balance. That is the chance.
yeah, there's no reference to him doing that. The closest I can think of is in Scrooge. Is that better? You're getting the attention. Sorry, the cat's being a butt. But yeah, that actually would be fun to try and do in today's is Brewster's Millions. If you've never seen Brewster's Millions, it's where a guy inherits something like $15 million. And this is in 1980s money. So that's a huge sum of money today. And the problem is, I think he has like a month to spend it all so he can actually win hundreds of millions. And the idea is to make him so disgusted with spending money that he'll actually do the right thing with the money after that. And it, to me, it's a brilliant movie. Yes, hi. What is up? You just want all the attentions right now. Yeah. Sorry, Flufferbutt's asking for pets. You know, and if you've never seen Brewster's Millions, it's a great movie. I mean, imagine Old Yeller wasn't old. Old Yeller had to be shot because he had rabies. I swear I didn't pet you all day. I guess nobody really cares about Brewster's Millions. What else? The steak knife scene from Brewster's Millions? Has it been that long since I've watched it? I'll have to take a look. Oh, another good one I think that should be redone is They Live. You know, which would be difficult, but also very necessary in this day and age, where people need to really open their eyes and look around. Well, nobody was really, talking about it, so I assumed that it wasn't that big of a deal. Tanya, you want pets? Come here. Yes. Hi. Oh, you just hate being held. Oh, you big butt. You big terrible person getting attentions. Big meanie picks you up and gives you scritchings. You poor baby. You poor baby. You're even purring. Don't even give me that crap. Seen Brewster's? What was the one I mentioned? Oh, They Live. So They Live is all about a guy, which I always find funny that they named him Nada. N-A-D-A. Nada. The idea was that he was nobody. He was just a regular nobody that happened to be in the right place at the right time to discover that there was this whole alien plot, and who knows how long it had been going on, to convince people to, like, using subliminal advertising. Yeah, that secretary was a real one. Right, They Live. And just how far he had to go to try and convince people that he wasn't lying. And he looked into a pair of sunglasses that allowed him to see the world in a completely different way. And I honestly think that movie people need to pay more attention, because it's happening right now. People think that subliminal advertising is illegal when it is not. There is nothing illegal about using whatever tricks they possibly can to get you to buy something. Anything. You know, even false advertising is hard to prove anymore. You know, that's what makes it very difficult. Is that Larger Than Life, 1996? What was Larger Than Life? That sounds familiar. Oh! I don't think I ever watched this movie. And it doesn't have a very good rating. Yeah, wow, damn. An 11% Rotten Tomatoes, 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Which, oddly enough, I think it should be better, but I mean, holy crap. It had Bill Murray, Matthew McConaughey, Janine Garofalo, and Linda Florentino. Like, that should have been a decent movie. So all I can say is it was probably terrible director. And it even had a $30 million budget. But, yeah, possible reboot. But who would you get to play Bill Murray's role in that? You know, that's the other part is that who are the actors that we're going to get to play any good roles anymore? I mean, Tom Holland's learning to be a decent actor. So far, he's a one-trick pony. He's only ever played Spider-Man. Well, I mean, yeah, there was Chaos Walking, but I haven't really seen him in anything else. Which Chaos Walking sounds like the writer's room of that movie. Like, I can't even blame the actors in that movie. It was just bad writing. I mean, the premise of the movie was dumb as shit. In my personal. But honestly, the impossible. What is the impossible? Okay, so it was a disaster film. Oh, okay. That would be fun. So, how did I not hear about this movie? It had Tom Holland in it, Naomi Watts, Harry Holland, and Sam Holland, and Ewan McGregor? Like, the impossible. Yeah, the impossible. The kids in the tent were also Tom Holland's brothers. Yeah, I find new movies all the time, too. Oh my God. That would be fun to remake and not take seriously. Battlefield Earth. That terrible Scientology movie. Like, god-awful Scientology movie. Me and my buddy went and watched it in theaters. It was the second time in my life I had asked for my money back. I didn't get it, but I kept waiting for the movie to get better. It was bad. But I think it'd be funny if you did it without taking it seriously and just have stupid fun. Just have stupid fun with the movie. Lost City of Z? La La Land? I heard that one was good, but I've never watched it. Or am I thinking of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I can't. There is so many bad movies. The Crowded Room for Tom Holland movies? Okay. Well, I wasn't meaning... see, this is what I get when I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm saying he's getting better. You know, he's got all of the money and time in the world. Unfortunately, he's going to have to pull a Daniel Radcliffe. Once he's done playing Spider-Man, he's going to have to break the role. Oh, that one. See, Tom Holland has yet to impress me. But that's okay. There's a lot of actors that have ceased to impress me. You know, I used to really like RDJ, and then he just keeps playing the same role over and over again. And I don't mean Tony Stark. If you look at how he played Sherlock Holmes, yeah, it was just Tony Stark. Pretty much everything he's played for so long is basically the same character. I even watched A Scanner Darkly. Yeah, Tom Hiddleston. I'm not talking bad about Tom Hiddleston. I don't need knives in my back. But number two, I haven't seen him play a bad role. He follows the Christopher Lee method. You can be in a bad movie, just don't be bad in it. Probably because he's smart enough to actually pay more attention to what roles he gets. He doesn't see, and that's where Tom Holland's made mistakes, is he just throws himself into movies. You know, he lets... See, and that's another good idea, is to work on the stage. A lot of impressive actors work stage. I think Tom Holland would be smart to take a few lessons there. You know, like I said, I'm not saying that Tom Holland's bad. He's still growing. Right? Well, and that's what Daniel Radcliffe did. He went up on stage. You know, I mean, and it's one of the reasons why I don't have that much respect for RDJ, is that he never really went up on stage. Oh, Tom Hiddleston? Yeah, seeing him on stage too. My biggest issue with actors in general, I'm not pointing anybody specific, is just that they have a tendency to think they know more than you. Because they have a platform, they have to use it to tell you how to act. And that's a problem. Most of these actors have lived an extremely privileged life. To even get into acting, you have to be able to wait for a casting call. Like, I mean, almost every actor that has said that they started from nothing lied. They think they started from nothing when compared to those around them. There's very few actors that are just hired off the street. That are worth a shit anyway. Very few. Most of them have to go through a lot. But also, I mean, it's just like, you know, the CEO who's, you know, started from rags to riches. Bullshit. That hasn't happened since the 30s and 40s. Any of these CEOs you hear talk about now, every single one of them had a privileged life. You know, in acting, you have to know who to talk to even to go anywhere. You know, I mean, and even YouTubers that have made it big had to start from a point of privilege that most people don't have. You know, I mean, most of these guys were going to college and they ended up quitting to become a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer. And I mean, take Markiplier. You know, I mean, he was in college. Well, yeah, they had an audience, but I mean, you even look at the Paul brothers. They started from a point of privilege. You know, they had money enough that they didn't have to stay in college. They didn't have to do certain things. You know, their family was able to give them a lot. Yes, boo. You know, and as much as I like... Right. You know, there are some, like Jacksepticeye. You know, he started from basically nothing. Markiplier had a lot of bad things happen in his life. But at the time when they were getting started, they had to at least be able to afford the computer that could handle video was so hard. You know, let alone cameras that were worth the crap to even watch somebody from were so expensive. That's why a lot of the early YouTubers were faceless. Because cameras were expensive and the webcams you had back then were garbage. You know, and I'm not trying to take anything away. I'm just saying that they had the freedom to be able to sit there and do that at a time when a lot of people didn't have the money, the time, or the ability to take up their internet time, you know, their internet traffic to upload a video, which with the speeds back then, even at, you know, the potato quality, would still take hours. And it could fail. Like, people don't realize that, yes, it was a hard job. It's hard work. They did a lot of work. But your average person couldn't just set it up, record a video, get started uploading, and then head off to work. Or head off to college. Like, they just didn't have that money to be able to do it. Which, I mean, that's just the way it goes. You know, and yes, baby, you are pissing me off. Not in a bad way, just like, you just want attention, and it makes it so hard to talk. Yes, I love you. I'm sorry saying pissing me off. I'm sorry. I've also got a headache. Yeah, sorry, I've also got a headache tonight, so I might be a little bit more forceful than usual. Not trying to be mean, I just, like, I've had this headache all day. Normally they're gone by now. It's annoying. And yes, I've been drinking plenty of water. I've had more than usual today. I'm on my third half gallon of water. So, gallon and a half today.
Can we stop the chase?
Yeah.
Can we stop the chase? Money, things, and fame.
What meds, Green Jeans?
Money, things, and fame.
What, you think I took ibuprofen or aspirin for this? No, I don't take them. I don't take pain meds. Thought you knew that. It takes a lot for me to take a pain med. Even when I had my teeth pulled, I only took the pain meds for a day. And as far as I know, I did get good sleep.
Advertisers shoehorning on all. Every step we take to dawn.
I know, I'm a freak. My wife tells me the same thing. I don't like pain meds. I don't like how they make me feel. And I'm not even talking about the narcotic ones. I'm just talking Tylenol. Tylenol, acetaminophen, ibuprofen, regular aspirin. The hell, I don't even think I have any in the house. You know, I'm strange. I get it. I know that. No. See, okay, you want to understand, Green Jeans? My thing about pain meds is that if I take pain meds, then I don't know how much damage I'm doing to the part I've hurt. So then I have to take pain meds longer because now it hurts. Well, now I'm pushing off all sorts of pains that I didn't even realize I had. And basically, once you come off of it, you feel every other pain that it was also pushing off, that you had already become resistant to, you didn't even realize you had. Because it wasn't injuring you. I don't like taking pain meds because it's basically lying to your body that, oh, I sprained my ankle, so I'll take, ibuprofen so I can walk on it. It didn't suddenly fix it. You got to know what damage you're doing. I mean, why do you think most people my age are broken messes? They have to live on ibuprofen because they didn't realize how much damage they were doing to themselves.
Giving us a goal like a calf. The Judas goat will lead. Never admitting to the deed. Can we stop the chase?
That's just my take on it. I don't like the idea of pain meds because they fool your body. Possibly. Yes, my body needs to handle the pain. But I also need to know, allow my body to tell me when, no, I can't handle that. So you stop doing it. Mama raised no bitch. Well, my mom tried. My mom really tried to get me to take pain meds. It's like, oh, you got a headache here, have a couple of Tylenol. And I'm like, no, it'll go away. I'd rather know what's going on. I'm just going to be honest. It's why I don't like most medications. Sleep and good food is more of a medication than anything you're going to find over the counter. Well, okay, then stop eating greasy, dense foods. Also, if it's just lately, drink more water. Your body is building acid, but you're not putting enough water in your system, so the acid is concentrated. You're getting heartburn. It has to do with the heat. You're not drinking enough water, even though it feels like you're drinking enough water. The other thing is figure out what's causing the heartburn.
Can we
Like, I'm just saying, you know, dehydration is a bitch because it can cause so many different issues that you don't even realize you're having. Like, case in point, my wife today. She just, all of a sudden, like, her muscles had no energy. You know, and I mean, she's working out in this heat. Actually, milk also helps rehydrate too. And Nine Tails, that also depends on the person. Most people, yes, milk will handle the acid. I'm just the opposite. I have to drink hot sauce to get rid of heartburn. Because heartburn for me comes from too much base in my system, which milk is a base. I like my vinegars. I like my, because vinegar is a mild acid, or is it a mild base? I can't remember at the moment. No, I think it's a mild. Oh man, I can't remember. I cannot remember if vinegar was acidic or it isn't. Okay, it's an acid. But I eat a lot of pickled things. Well, I only have 1 to 2 sodas a day. I have coffee, which no matter what people tell you about the acids in coffee, it's actually a base. And then I drink a lot of water. No, not including Pickle Rick. Dickle prick. I just know that ever since I was a little kid, if I get heartburn, Tums, Rolaids, right? Coffee's always been good for you. Within reason. I mean, obviously, you know, don't drink it like my mom used to. Exactly. My mom used to, you know, we had a 48 cup urn, you know, kind of thing you'd see at an old restaurant. That was her coffee pot for the day. And whenever the doctor asked her how much she drank, well, no more than a pot of coffee. Her pot of coffee was 48 cups. Mine's 12. The most I drink in a day is a half gallon. Which sounds terrible, but that's like 2 Starbucks drinks, depending on your size. Right? Well, there is that, yeah. There is that you can make a light coffee out of it. Me, honestly, I think this headache, by the way, sorry, I forgot to mention what I think the headache's from. Nine Tails? I am sad that I absolutely understood what you said. And all of that is terrible. Like, one, I don't know how people, you know, especially like Seattleites can call themselves coffee snobs. And that the best coffee that came out of there was Starbucks. Starbucks is garbage. Yeah, one, some of those ladies shouldn't be wearing yoga pants that are that tight. If you're gonna wear yoga pants, get them in your size, not 2 sizes too small. Leave something to the imagination, please. And I don't care how thin you are. I don't care how fit you are. I don't want to see it. You know, I want people to take reasonable care of themselves, dress up when they want to, you know, stuff like that. But some of the lengths these people go through, I mean, it's so ridiculous. Oh my God. So apparently, I can't even remember who the mother was, but basically she took out her own children. This is going somewhere, trust me. Like, she took out her own kids, admitted to it, and there's a court case about the only reason why the court case is there is just whether she was competent to understand what she did when she did it. And yet, apparently, there's a bunch of TikTok people that are arguing that the husband did it. That there's no way she could have done it. Yeah, that is so stupid. You know, it's like, I have ultimate sympathy for the mother as far as it goes, because supposedly, you know, postpartum psychosis, this is a real thing. And that's fine. Like, I get it, you know, it's terrible. But to have a whole bunch of people sit here and try and blame the husband, how brain broken do you have to be? I mean, this is as bad as the people all the way back, you know, that were all the way back when people were you know, thirsting over Luigi Mangione. Right? Luigi, you know who I'm talking about. Mangione, I can't remember. The guy that, yeah, you know, people were thirsting after him. Oh, he was too hot to do it. Or the people that actually cheered. Okay, Ninetales, you're just ranting off. Like, I understand why people would have sympathy for the killer of the particular guy that they took out. Like, I get it, but we should never sympathize with the killer themselves, or at least the action that they did. Like, let's be honest here. We should never be on, you know. Right. Well, then you had all those people cheering when Charlie Kirk got what he got. Like, you're cheering a murder, the death of someone. And if you really want to extend the whole concept of social murder, you know, that he, because of the way he talked, he deserved what he got. How many people can say that they are innocent? How many of your actions may actually have this ripple effect? Well, not if you do it that way. How many are caught because they were flirting? True. You know, I mean, I'm just saying that if we take a moment and actually try to figure out how to get done what we want to get done. Like, one, the healthcare industry is only, like, as an actual paid field like it is now, I think it's less than 100 years old. I think it wasn't until the late 20s, early 30s. You have a good night, XO. Thanks for popping in. And The healthcare industry probably causes more problems than anything else. Eesh. Oh, nice. And congratulations. But if you start registering, like, I believe in universal healthcare. I think everybody should have a certain basic level of healthcare. Yes, and good luck with training. Sorry. Everybody should have a basic level just to get the basics taken care of. I'm not talking cosmetic surgery or anything like that. Right. Universal healthcare isn't too much of an ask. I really don't think so. People say, oh, well then, how are you going to get medical innovation, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, look, you just pay for it through taxes. Yes, our taxes would go up. But if people don't have to worry about medical and they can just go in when they're not feeling good, do you realize how much more productive people would end up being in the long run? Not having all of these little issues that they do. Having to wait until nerves die in their teeth or start, having huge, swollen face before, going to the dentist to get a teeth pulled. Well, yeah, the taxes are going to go up anyway, but then again, you're also going to be able to work better and longer. Sickness in the winter, sicknesses are going to go down. People will be healthier. Plus we'll actually have a better understanding of being able to trust what a doctor says, because now it's not about money. In fact, it'd be just the opposite. They're going to want to keep you as healthy as possible so that they don't have to pay for it. So instead of, 17 bazillion rounds of chemo, it's the quick cure, 1 or 2 rounds, and you're done. Because I think a big deal, what we should be focusing on, is that everybody, when they go to a doctor, should get a full blood workup. Like the whole thing. First time you go in to see a new doctor. And they need to do a whole spread spectrum on you. Not the little things they look for, I mean everything. Hell, check if there might be a few cancer cells in their blood. Hell, check this, check that, check this. Whatever you can check off the box. Because this would also be good for medicine investigation or medicine research. Because we might find out that, oh, hey, this gene here or this little, deficiency in vitamins here is what causes more people to get cancer, regardless of what they're doing. There's so much that could be done if people don't care about the money involved when it comes to health. And that's a simple one. That's simple. That should be the easiest damn thing in the world. Yes, it's going to throw a lot of people like, oh my God, they're taking my blood. They're doing, whatever vaccine, blah, 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 research, blah, 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 blah. Except for the whole system would be better run if it's all about taking care of a person's health. Which means that, they want to spend as little money on it as possible. So they have to keep you as healthy as possible. And if it's found that, doctors or somebody are ignoring signs of illness, ignoring signs of things that's going on, yeah, you're damn skippy. They need to be brought up on charges. But I think, that's one of the things that we really need to do anymore is focus on what how do I put this? Focus on what'll keep you healthy. Focus on what causes the problem and keeping that from happening. Holding people accountable for their actions. That's probably hands down the most important thing, is holding people accountable. Because there's a whole lot of people that need to be held accountable right now. And we're not. And it's on both sides of the aisle. And I am all for everybody going to jail that deserves it. Everybody. Every single one of them. I don't care how disruptive it would be to our government or to corporations or our economy. I don't care. These people committed crimes of a very heinous nature, and that's all, you know, and that's only the crimes that we were told. That's the part that scares me. Is that these are, you know, this is what they told us was happening. What else was going on? There's got to be more in there. You know, that's my feelings on it. But yeah, guys, I'm going to have to let you guys go. This headache is killing me. I am trying to keep focused, and as you guys notice, you know, it's...
Ale, hydrate.
I keep losing my thought. And I'm trying to stay hydrated. But yeah, I know it's a little early, but it feels like somebody hit me upside the head with a baseball bat. So I think I'm just gonna try and rest up. So you guys have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you guys have a good night further on. And hope to see you back here soon. Friday is next time I'll stream with Ghost and Raven and Patience. Talk to you guys later.